Alright, well here's my other 2003 F150. This one's a 4.6 automatic 2-wheel drive, and hasn't been too bad, but we got a weird misfire. We got a number 2 misfire. Coil and plug have been changed, and it didn't really make any difference. I pulled the codes this morning, and while we also have the number 2 cylinder misfire, I've got a system 2 lean bank 1. I'm assuming bank 1 is cylinders 1, 2, 3, and 4, and those are the only codes I've got. So my only other thought, if it's not the plug or the coil on these things, is that it might be the injector, and that's fairly easy to get to on these. You got a couple of bolts here and back here that hold the injector rail in. Then you pull up on it and you should be able to pop the injectors out. You got your injectors here. Luckily it's number 2, which is fairly easy to get to. But before I break this thing, we're going to go check it out on a parts truck and see what we can do with that injector system. Alright, so now we're on the Junk 5.4. A little bit different rail because this heads are taller, but same style. So we got an 8mm here, 8mm back here, and once those are out, we should be able to pull the rail up. I have to get too close just to... Oh yeah, this has a plastic intake manifold, which mine doesn't, so I'm not used to stuff coming out easy. And of course, Ford uses screws 50 times too long for everything. Alright, that's the 2 hold-down screws, and the injectors are just really held in with O-rings, so hopefully that's it. That's the rail, and the rail is now unhooked. So we will attempt to unplug one of these, and that's it. And that's your fuel injector. So, probably drink that crap now. But we're going to go try to repeat this process on the other one and see if this helps our problem. Alright, so we're back here. I'm going to unplug this. And the injectors look a bit different, but they do attach, so we should be in pretty good shape. So now what we're going to do, same thing, but this is an aluminum intake, but I'm sure the screws are the same damn length. So that's more like it. Okay, now disconnect a couple of these to get them out of the way. We're going to clean this off, depressurize the fuel rail, and then pop it up and try to see what we can do. Alright, so down in here is a Schrader valve. I'm going to attempt that is. There. And the fuel pump isn't great. It's not holding a lot of pressure, but That's how you can depressurize the fuel system without spraying it all over the place. So there we go. All right, that's up. I guess we can get this thing out of the way. All right, hold that. I'm trying to pop off the offending article. There it is. Ooh, top O-ring is still stuck in there. We gotta go fish that out. That's one thing you don't want to do, is double up that O-ring. Yeah, that is a seriously different injector. This ought to be entertaining, but it is broken. So let me go get a pick and we will see if we can find that O-ring. You can see the O-ring in there. I'm gonna go fish that out. See if we can get it. I think it's coming. Yeah, there it goes. Fell. And I don't know where it went. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, so now we got the O-ring out. So now I'm gonna try to see down in there if I can see where that chunk of plastic may have gone. That may be our answer in and of itself. This could be working, but it could be blocking everything. So I'm gonna go get a better light and take a look. We got the replacement cleaned up. I'm gonna get you in there. Click. And all four of them came out. So I'm gonna try to line these things up as best possible into their holes. I think I can see the threads. I think that's it. All right. Get the bolts back in. All right, and we will plug the injector and the coil wires back in. Make sure the ones we didn't unplug are still plugged in. And turn it on and see if we have any leaks. So we'll give her a start, see what happens. Turn the key on and off a couple of times just to prime it. Seems pretty smooth. Alright, so I'm going to go reset the codes and then we'll see what we can do from there. Okay, so we just got back from a drive. Seems to do okay under wide open throttle or an idle, but part throttle it's terrible. Weirdly, it didn't throw any more codes. We don't have any leaks, so that's fine. That injector seems to be working. With that 0171, I guess, that lean bank, the only thing I can find the recommendation of is the mass air sensor. So, as this truck, who knows what the history is, there could be a squirrel stuck in this thing. So we're going to try to find out where the MAF is, which I think is in here, and see if it is crappy or whatever, see if we can blow it out, give it a clean, and see if that might help. So that's our next step. Now, I don't know if this is the cause because we're seeing lean, and typically if this happens it goes rich, but yeah, probably could use a new air filter. There's a date on this thing. 07/2016. Yeah. So that's probably when you bought the truck, when we changed, because I'm pretty sure we changed it. But I don't know, that doesn't necessarily fit the symptoms to me. But the mass airflow sensor, this is it. Doesn't look too bad, but I'm going to try to pull that out and see what we can find. If nothing else, I should have another one to change it out from the other truck, and worst case I'll swap the one off of mine onto it and we'll just test it that way. But I'm going to try to figure out how this thing comes apart. Alright, well, it looks like to get this apart you kind of got to go in here and pop it out. There we go. Do that. Doesn't look bad. I'll be damned. They don't want you to change that. Safety torques. So this is a calibrated unit. That's the mass airflow sensor. So we're going to go look on the other truck and see if I can find something that might work to be swapped out, and see if we can change it to test it, because it doesn't really look dirty. Right. So there's the one off the other truck. It had some stupid cold air intake on it, so we're going to just pop this thing off, stick it in here in place of this one, put it back together and test it, see if that makes any difference at all. Alright, so got the mass airflow sensor changed. Start it, see if it sounds any different. I doubt it, but you never know. Set those on there. I don't think it's much different, but take it for another quick test and see. Alright, well that didn't do anything, which I kind of expected, but we're still seeing the lean, so we're going to look for some vacuum leaks. See what we can find. Alright, so we've got a few hoses, not too many. Got some down here related to the EGR valve, which is here. I don't see anything real obvious. This is all a vacuum harness here. So we're going to sniff around some of these vacuum leaks and some of these potential vacuum leaks and see what we can find. Alright, so we got some starting fluid so I could check for vacuum leaks. Didn't find any, which I really didn't expect to. Then we just gave up, said screw it. Pulled the coil off, pulled the plug, and it turns out that plug hadn't been changed. So I took one of the plugs out of my junker, cleaned it up, gapped it properly, and we put a new coil that he had sitting on that plug, and it's good. So the gap on the plug that came out was really, really wide for some reason, so I'm wondering if the other one coil was just a little weak. and was just not making as much spark as it needed under a load. But we just took it out for a drive, and it's fixed. So we got to run it again. As yet again, it always comes down to the coils on these trucks. But we got an injector that seems to work. It's not leaking. Coils on and plugged, and then she's running good. So we're gonna put that cover back on. Maybe put the mass airflow that came in it back on, just because there's no real history with that disaster that came off the other truck. Send it, call it a day. Talk to y'all later.